This decorative motif started with a satin stitch, initial PV, and then I did an outline using the outlines and offsets. Let's look at my settings on that. I just did a single, kind of right on the edge. I have also offset it further away, about a 1/2 millimeter, so that's still holding for me as well. So I'll cancel this, that's fine. Now as I'm working, I have locked the finished one that I'm going to be using, but I wanted to kind of simplify the steps that I took. This one took me hours because I was playing around with what would form an abstract pattern and not get too far away from the initials, seeing the P and the V. But I wanted to simplify it to show you. Now I'm just going to hide the satin stitch just so it's not distracting. And I have combined my P and the center part so that whenever I duplicate or move these around, they will stay together. So now I'm going to select the P and the V together, and let's look at actual size by touching one on my keyboard, and I'll come to mirror merge horizontal, and if you don't move this, it comes up right touching the original one. So I'll place it. Then I'll take, these may not be the exact steps I took. This will give you an idea what you can play with. Mirror merge again. And again, I'm not moving it. I'm letting it stay right where it is. Then I want to take, I found that I needed another P on this end and then on this end. So I mirrored to get this one, I used that one, and I mirrored, oh, this will work. We'll go back that way with it. Try it again. Let's take this one and we'll mirror easily this way. My arrow kind of gets in the way, but I'll be able to move it once I go in closer. See, I want them to touch so we can eventually use the branching tool and get rid of all trims. So I've used the nudge arrow on my keyboard to just make those touch. Let's go one more. There we go. We'll scroll out. Looks like everything's touching so far, so I haven't gotten too far off. Let's select this one and merge it. And again, if you don't move your cursor from where the software brings it up, you're right on the money. Okay. Now I want to take all of these and I want to be sure that they are aligned. So my P's, you can see they are connected, the center part and the outer part of the P. And let's go to arrange. And I want them to align at the top. So it shifted it just ever so slightly. Then this entire thing, and let's just move it down to give myself some more room here. Okay, we're going to mirror again. I promise you I didn't do this quickly before. And I'm just going to set it down right where the software sees a true mirror. Now when I look at this with the connectors, I have a lot of trims that I want to avoid, And let's see if I have them close enough. So I'll draw a bounding box around all of this. We'll go to Edit and Branch. The software prompts me to enter a entry point, and then it would prompt me to enter an exit point, but I'm going to let the software make the best decision, and I'll merely hit enter twice on my keyboard. And so the software has found the best path, and I have the one trim where it's going to start. Let's turn our stitches back on. And that made a pretty design. Now, because it's a straight stitch, and it was created in the Bernina software, it's a grade A, I can change the size of this. And let's work this. Now, I don't want to go in the center because I think that's where that is. But let's at least center it this way. Okay. Well, at this point, I would get rid of this one, of my guide that I have. So let me just take this to a new page, Control Copy, get a new page, Control V, and I think it's just pretty. It reminds me of kind of butterflies. So it makes me wonder, if I played with it again, would I take these P's and mirror them here? So you would get a completely different look depending on how you put them together. And now I'll go ahead and center this. 0 and 0. And I could sew it, let's turn this to inches so that you can see. This is going to be about 6.5 inches wide, which might be sweet just across a t-shirt, because it's going to be really lightweight stitching. It's only 3,299 stitches. Now, something I do as a final step, if I've got stitches that are too close together, my needle will cut the thread, and that's what would cause a thread break. So I will go to Design and remove small stitches. And for this one, I think I'm going to take this to 1 millimeter. I usually use 0.7 because that's about the size of a needle. But I'm going to exaggerate this one just a touch. And we'll say OK. And that took us down to 22,769 without losing detail of the design. Oh, we did kind of bounce it around, so I'm going to put that back. Now that I blew it up, it took too much out. Let's try let's say remove. It defaults to 0.3. Let's try my 0.7 that I usually use. Oop, don't need to. Okay, that is better. So my 0.7 that I normally use is what would work for this. Let's run it in the stitch player. Speed it up a little bit. But the machine is going to sew smoothly because it's not having to start and stop. When it goes to put in these centers. Oh, look at that. Need to close this. And let's be sure to turn these on. So I'm still just seeing this one trim at the end. I think when I worked with the other one, I actually took the time to select each one. So that's something you could do as well. If you select each one and use 1, 2, 3, your selections will come up in the order that you put them in. But I just let the software do it on this one. Thanks for watching.